we all like it, but it's not something you should take lightly. Don't get involved in buying links unless you really know what you're doing and how to set a natural footprint. I'm not really going to get into natural footprints and stuff. But Google does frown upon it. Google catches you, they will boot you or penalize you. So really try and do it right, because it's not a business you want to do without knowing what you're doing. All right, next up we've got Gab Goldenberg with Delegating and Scaling Link Building. Let's go.
שלום, שמי גבריאל, באתי להצג על צורה לקבל לינקים בצורה המונית ורחבה ובלי להסתבך בגוגל. So, there's a wrong way that people do this, and the simple fact is they find a do-follow footprint, which is kind of what Olivier was mentioning. That's a site where you can leave a comment and you'll get a do-follow link. And they hire a bunch of Indians or other cheap labor in the third world, leave a whole bunch of awful comments, and unsurprisingly, you get banned by Google. I've seen that twice in the past few months, done the re-inclusion requests, and it's stupid. In one case, these people were doing 5 figures a day in business, and because they couldn't afford to hire somebody to do proper link building and decided to spend a few $100 on Indians, they lost several days worth of 10,000 plus revenue days. So a much better way to do that is to go about guest posting. There's 3 simple reasons. 1, it's repeatable. You build a relationship, you can keep going back to that person. 2, again, in terms of getting trust, and this can be useful for those of you who do want to buy links, is just that you ignore anchor text. And so, בצורה טבעית, אתם תקבלו לינקים שאנשים נותנים לכם את זה עם השם של האתר שלכם, למשל walla.co.il. אז עם וואלה, אני לא אומר שהם עושים את זה, אבל אם הם רצו לקנות לינקים, יכלו לעשות את זה, ואומרים, תנו לנו את זה עם walla.co.il במקום news ודברים כאלה שהם רוצים להיות ראשונים עליהם. דבר שישי, you can get referral traffic when people click your links. So, guest posting, sorry, to explain briefly, אתה מעלה את המאמר שלך על אתר של מישהו אחר, והוא נותן לך link in exchange. So there's a few systems and processes I use to do that, and we'll see them kind of one by one. First of all, you got to find an angle. So sometimes it's obvious, but other times in a lot of industries you need to find something that is actually going to work. For example, in health insurance, nobody's really that interested in reading about health insurance most of the time. But what you can do is you can write about benefits, for example, and target human resources people, because health insurance is a benefit that many big companies offer people as part of their human resources programs. Same thing for sports. Maybe you're talking about American football, you can target all the spouses that get ignored on game day. Then you've got to recruit. So I like to recruit people that I can also use to put guest posts on their blogs, and in that case you want to look at your metrics from a human and SEO perspective. So do they have RSS readers, comments, things that show there's actual activity, and the number of links, that sort of thing. When you write your ad to recruit, you want to focus on benefits, just like you would if you're actually selling something in your ad. You're selling a job. Just because you're going to pay somebody to write for you, doesn't mean there aren't a million other people that you're also competing to hire that same person. Talk about training them. Talk about prompt payment by PayPal. Talk about acting as a reference for them. Things like that are going to make your job stand out from the million other blogger positions out there. You have to make a lot of offers, because for most of these people it's not their full-time day job, and you are going to have people who are going to flake out. I had somebody who wrote for Mashable, which is one of the biggest tech blogs around. I thought, oh, this is excellent, great connection, blah, blah, blah. She went MIA and showed up like 6 months later, hey, can I still write for you? No. So a couple of quick other alternatives. You can search around and solicit, but it's the difference between people coming to you versus you interrupting them with your marketing. So it's a question of what's going to be more effective. You can incentivize referrals. Once you already have bloggers, invite them to recruit their friends and pay them a bonus for anybody that actually signs up with you. MyBlogS.com, אתר מדהים. You can find people in all sorts of different fields. זה עדיין קצת מוגבל, אבל בכל מקום זה הולך וגודל. And of course, if you build relationships, bottom line, that's the best place to find good bloggers. All these people who are on the panel with me, I would love to have guest posts for me. And you know that by building relationships, it's a lot easier to approach them for that. And if you're just some random stranger that says, hey, Olivier, I'm like some random SEO person who wants you to write for him. And of course, we've got to figure out where you're actually going to upload these posts. Who are you writing for? Where are you going to get the links from? So Write for Us is a footprint that you can search for. So you can look for Write for Us in Google, and you can add your keywords afterwards or before, whatever. لمثال Write for Us SEO, Write for Us India travel. And you'll find different places that are taking guest posts, so they have a page that's called Write for Us. And then that makes it easier. You can just hire a blogger outright. Again, building relationships is key. And then finally, you can solicit unpaid opportunities from websites that don't say Write for Us. Again, it's going to be less effective. Finally, setup. Okay, you've got your bloggers, you know your own goals, your metrics, that sort of thing. You've got to answer a lot of the same recurring questions. So you might want to set up an FAQ page or have a standard email that welcomes them into your team, and that answers a lot of common questions. Do I get to keep copyright? Can I put this on my own blog after? Yes, no, duplicate content? What's your policy going to be? Frequency is a very big one. People want to know how much they're going to write for you. Again, because people flake out, and because you still need to meet your targets for your clients or for yourself, how many links you're going to get, hire more. Say that you want more blog posts than are actually necessary to meet your link target. Worst case scenario, you'll have exactly the number of links you need. Best case scenario, you'll over-deliver and make your client really happy. Instructions are very important. It seems natural or obvious to a lot of us who do this over and over, but for somebody who's maybe new to guest posting, they're not quite sure, do they send them a link, do they log in, what's it going to be like? Set up a process, and then you can save yourself a lot of time explaining these things. Style guides especially are going to be very important, and we'll get to that in a moment. Style guide, just explain in Hebrew because I can't figure out what the words would be in English. בגדול זה מסגרת, כאילו, איך אתה תכתב, are you going to capitalize words, what can you link to, what can you link to, דברים כאלה. And then you put them in touch with the owner's editors. It's very important to have a lot of different contact methods, because some people don't pay that much attention to email, some people are more Skype, some people more phone. If you can get phone, it's really key, because almost everybody obviously answers their phone on a regular basis. In giving purpose, you want to tell them what is the motivation, what is the team's goal, and how can they help you achieve your own goals, and potentially get a bonus themselves if you achieve your number of links, rankings, whatever it is. A couple of tricks: people run out of ideas, they get writer's block, it's normal. Be there to offer suggestions. Schedule and checklist creation is a way to make sure you get all your links and guest posts done on time. If you told your client you're going to get 30 links this month, and it comes to the 4th week of the month, you log into your reporting and you see you've only got 10 links, well, if you have a schedule set up ahead of time and a checklist, then you can track progress more easily. The editing expectations ties into the style guide. It's a source of friction between bloggers and the people that they're blogging for. So if you say, okay, you can expect people to edit for your grammar, they're not going to change the sense, they're not going to change the point of what you're saying, it makes people feel a lot more comfortable, and it avoids like, oh, I thought this was my original idea, she totally messed it up. It's going to save you time also resolving conflict between people. And then some people are just not going to work out. Some bloggers, even if you coach them, you provide style guide, are still going to write poorly. Some are just not motivated. Again, it's not their primary job for the most part. And so if you hire them on a probationary basis, say, look, our project lasts for 2 months, would you like to work with us? 3 months, whatever. And if they work, you can hire them again. And if they don't, take care, I'm sorry, the client didn't renew the program. Big adore you suck, but I'm too polite to tell you. Collaborative software online, excellent way to do reporting. You don't need to bother the bloggers, your clients don't need to bother you or the bloggers. Everybody is updated whenever they feel like logging in. You need to follow up on a regular basis to see have people forgotten, are they sick, what's going on, and that way you can adjust on the fly. Again, if somebody falls sick, you don't want all the posts that they need to edit or that they need to write to hold up the rest of the project and make you miss your deadlines, your deliverables. And similarly, you're going to find sometimes that with constant contact, one, you're building relationships again, but it's also going to alert you to problems. For example, this person is always late submitting their posts. This other person hardly puts any effort into it, and it's generic. She may as well have copied basic Wikipedia. And then I use PayPal MassPay so that I can just upload a CSV to PayPal and do all my payments in one go. It saves you a lot of time. Retention motivation, this is so that you don't have to keep recruiting. You'll find that if you do guest post link building on a scaled basis, what's going to happen is that some people are going to fall out, they're less interested, whatever, and it can be a very taxing problem if you have to keep recruiting people, have to keep bringing new people into the organization, do the whole setup, write more ads, keep buying more ads, and you don't need to do that if you can keep working with the same people. And it also means if you keep working with them, that they'll be willing to bring even more people into your organization, which is the cheapest way really to get new bloggers. So purpose is, again, like I mentioned earlier, directing them what the goals are. Mastery, a lot of people are motivated by becoming better at what they do. So if you can have a writing coach, someone who's an excellent writer and knows how to teach it, that's a very big motivator for bloggers, saying, I am going to provide you regular feedback as we go along on your writing. How can you make it more engaging? How can you write catchier titles? How can you have people leave more feedback? And then there's also an objective and subjective component to that. If you have, let's say, word limits, that's objective. If their most common adjective is good and bad, my most common answer is, again, you're terrible. And then relationships. Are they building relationships with you? Are they interacting well with other bloggers? Do they have conflict? Let's know. So, bottom line, guest posting essentially human resources. We keep talking about social media, but blogging is like one of the first forms of social media. And anything you would do in human resources to motivate your people and to make it effective, you can generally apply that to guest posting. So how frequently are you in contact with them? You can use BuzzStream, it's a CRM for link building, and that you can, for example, CC that email, and all the emails you send to your bloggers will go into your BuzzStream management, so that you know, let's say, Olivier and I were trading emails, and it'll show up so you can check, oh, what's the status of my relationship with Olivier? Oh, I know we traded all these emails. Same thing with Twitter lists. You can have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for a specific project account. And then you check, oh, when was the last time I talked to this person that one? Be okay with getting links later. It's a lot about setting client expectations or your own if you're in-house. And if you're able to build those relationships and then delay link building to later, you'll find yourself very happy. And again, overhire, people are going to disappear. And don't flake out yourself. Make sure you're there when they need you, when they have writer's block, when they're annoyed at somebody else over editing, whatever it is. Finally, I've been writing a book on advanced SEO. You guys can get a free chapter. It's book.seori.com. It's a lot about critical thinking. And תהיו בקשר, אני אשמח. @gab goldenberg בטוויטר, יש לכם את השאר. תודה רבה.